So I'm looking at the summary and it's summarizing all the income that is taxable. And, so it's got the sort of parts, your basic, like, this is your income. These are your itemized expenses. I say itemized because part of the point of me filing this particular tax return is that there was a nursing facility that is tremendously expensive, as those facilities are, that was entirely deductible as an itemized deduction on a Schedule A. This is part of why I was asked to come in. So I'm looking at all these things and everything is there, everything is registered. However, there was a mistake, right? So there was one of the tax forms was for a Roth IRA distribution. And if you know anything about Roth, and you don't need to be a tax expert to know this, if you've listened to the Sunlight podcast, you will know that a distribution from your Roth IRA should not be taxable, right? That's the whole deal. Now, TaxSlayer was listing it as taxable, right? So this was like $40,000, $50,000 of income that was being taxed and showing up as, $10,000 of tax-ish that shouldn't have been there, right? Who wants to receive an incorrect $10,000 tax bill? That should not have been taxed, right? And this was a point in the return where I felt really frustrated. So I think if I didn't have a lot of experience doing tax returns, at this point, I kind of would have flipped out, freaked out. I might not have noticed. I might have paid an incorrect tax bill. I might have actually overpaid taxes by $10,000 and never known. I think the IRS in general would have caught this mistake and sent me a letter and sent me the money back. That's generally true. But what seemed to me to be the actual problem is that there was a code written ambiguously on this tax form. It was kind of like not a real valid code, and the software had made a guess about the code, and the guess was wrong. And I had no way to see what the software was doing. There was no way for me to have insight about what had happened. Now, this probably is the zone of a tax professional in general. If your software is making a mistake with your stuff, like, you're going to have to kind of raise it to the supervisor level at that point, generally, most people. But unfortunately, there was no insight about why it was making this Roth distribution taxable. There was no alert that said this code, this taxability code is not one of the valid codes, like that would have alerted me or someone. There was nothing, right? It just made a guess, and the guess was wrong and resulted in a massive tax bill that this person did not actually owe. So that was super frustrating. What was also frustrating, I had no way within the software to correct this mistake. That was super annoying. And in fact, it was pushing me to pay for an expert, right? Pay that extra fee to talk to an expert. And the thing is, I'm an expert enough to know this shouldn't be taxable. I don't have a question about tax law. I have a question about the software not working, right? This is a software issue.